Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, honors to our brothers who are firmly pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this Pittsburgh apartment that got condemned after hours-long fight against flames in Squirrel Hill. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. Says the massive fire that raged for hours at an apartment building in Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood has been brought under control. The Jefferson apartment complex in the 500 block of Forward Avenue has been condemned following an hours-long firefight. Pittsburgh Fire Chief Daryl Jones is recommending that City of Pittsburgh building inspectors discuss plans for an emergency demolition of the property. Says fire breaks out at an apartment on Forward Avenue. Smoke first spotted around 8 a.m. All occupants accounted. Building heavily damaged. Ramp from Forward Avenue to Parkway East westbound closed. Says witnesses near the fire on Forward Avenue tell Pittsburgh Action News 4 they began to see smoke around 8 a.m. Tuesday. Pittsburgh Public Information Officer Cara Cruz says the fire was reported as a second alarm, but quickly grew to a third, then fourth alarm. The crews are still fighting this fire. It is obviously not under control, Cruz said earlier in the day. As I said, it started on the third floor, but there is also an electrical fire in the basement. Both Cruz and Chief of Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire Daryl Jones said the building has been extensively damaged. Jones said there were 73 firefighters on scene working defensively on the fire. According to the fire chief, the fight took longer to battle due to the age of the building. Said the fire started on the third floor of the building and continued to burn through the roof and rest of the building. Officials add there also an electrical fire in the basement of the apartment. An evacuation order was issued, and no injuries of the 30 people have been reported. A caretaker in one of the residents told Pittsburgh Action News 4 reporter Marcy Cipriani he was washing clothing when the first alarm went off. Said we have a little cat named Jelly, and I hope she's okay, and I'm really scared. I just don't want it to be my fault because I should have gotten her out, the man said, distraught. So my mother-in-law has been crying. She's been worried about the cat. There's like one thing I do know about cats, though, is they'll find their way out. Like, animals will find their way out. You know, not all the time, but in certain cases they do. So multiple parts of the roof collapsed while the facade of the building crumbled. We were live on air when a portion of the roof came down. The firefighters attacked the flames from all sides of the building, including from neighboring structures. Yeah, this is what the Lord is bringing. That flame of devouring fire. Just consuming and destroying everything. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm, and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And that's what happened to that apartment building. It got devoured by fire. The fire of the Lord. And there's going to be a lot more buildings that get destroyed. Historical buildings, homes, apartment buildings, restaurants, convenience stores, just so many different places are going to get consumed by fire. Psalms 9:16, the Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands, Higayon Selah. And that was judgment from the Lord. That entire apartment building being just destroyed. Now it has to get demolished because it's too extensively damaged. All the people who live there now have to find somewhere else to live. And that's not the easiest thing to do, especially given the current state of the economy. A lot of people can't afford to just go somewhere else. That's why in 2nd Ezra 8 and 50 it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." And we see that. These fires, these storms, these tempests, these earthquakes, the volcano eruptions, the food shortages, the power outages, all of these different events taking place, making life very, very difficult for a lot of people, especially the people who don't have faith in the Lord. Second Timothy 3 and 1, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." And you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. And just like myself and all the sincere brothers and sisters, well, the sincere brothers anyway, have been saying that times were going to become more dangerous. All of these fires, these storms, these tempests, the earthquakes, the volcano eruptions, shootings, stabbings, the violence, all of these different events that have been taking place are just going to get ramped up, intensified. And that's clearly what's happening. That's clearly how things are playing out. Things are just getting worse and worse, just as the scriptures are letting you know that they would. That's why those of us of the hopeful elect are not shocked when we read about these things happening, because we already knew that they were going to happen. It's everybody else who's constantly shocked every time judgment takes place, because they're so oblivious and lost in the sauce, so carnal, so consumed with worrying about folly and a bunch of things that don't matter, that they really never see these judgments coming. But things are going to just get increasingly more dangerous, more deadly, more intense, more scary. And there's nothing anybody can do. Those of us of the hopeful elect, we're just going to sit back and watch as the Lord continues to wreak havoc upon this wicked place and upon these wicked people. And these wicked people can't do anything but suffer. That is the time and season that we have entered into. The vengeance of the Heavenly Father upon this wicked world and all these wicked kingdoms and all of these wicked people. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.